Now we're going to talk about styles or style sheets or CSS, which stands for Cascade Style Sheet. So this is the, let's say, the technology or the way which describes how the web pages will be displayed on the browser, so on the front end. So how the pages are displayed on the screen. And this is done in different ways. The first way is here, when we have, for example, the font object is providing information in the attributes like color and size, hello world, okay, like that. Okay, although font is being deprecated, okay, you see hello world is green and the font is big, okay, green, and color is 5, a size 5, okay. Or even like we are going to use today is to define in this way, and we call it inline definition of the style. So the attribute style define an inline CSS for this HTML element. Here you see we have attribute, colon, value of the attribute, and the next attribute, and all the attributes are separated by semicolon. The best way also is to include the semicolon at the end. So color, colon, green, semicolon, font minus size, colon, 24 pixel px, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna launch this one. You see that I have similar to the previous one, green 24, or this one. This is another way. This one is been deprecated. Please use always this one, style, so the CSS. Another way is to have a reference to an external file like this, given a reference as a display to, as I showed you before in the head, okay, here in the link element, which is this one, okay, only opening, no closing tag, rel style sheet type text CSS, and reference is CSS. So the path of this one, okay, and then here we have the class red, class tick, class green, class tick and green. So two classes, you see, tick space green. Okay, if they have similar or they have definitions for the same properties for the same attribute, this one will be considered the valid one. Okay, and if you remember, we had our CSS file here. Okay, gonna open it, red, tick and green, and then red and tick, this one. Okay, if I'm going to, you see, tick and green, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna run the number 3. Okay, you see that I have all the styles. Okay, if I didn't give the right reference, like styles 1 here, you will see what happened. Okay, I cannot get the styles because I'm referring to something that does not exist, so I have to pay attention how this is done. Okay, see, now it works. Okay, very good. Then fourth, here you can define also the style within the head, not with the reference to an external file, but having an internal definition. So you can define here between the opening and closing tag style, the attribute type, text or CSS. And here are our classes. See, class here like that. So we're gonna run now the fourth one. I have the same results. Okay, and then finally we can have inline. Okay, instead of having the same classes define here, I define each class here, color red, font size 20, color green, and then color green, font size 20. So font size 20, this one, color green, this one. Okay, if you remember, I have tick green, okay, tick green, green, tick. Okay, this is tick and green, you see, like that. If I execute the last one, okay, I still have the same. So you see, the last three files have the same output completely. In this case, just I define a style like this. Of course, it is better to define something like this, but I really suggest you to even use this one with an external reference. So you see, it is very clear, because so if you modify something in the style, you don't need to modify the HTML, you just modify the CSS, and this part are not touched here. Otherwise you need to modify here, you modify all the CSS, and this one even you have to modify each line.